Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Story Time. So we have this spicy story from Reddit, so let's get into it. So this story took place in 2015. So the poster says I was dating this guy, we call him Jeff. Jeff and I were together for a little over 2 years and had a child together. I hadn't gone out in a year since after having our son, so we decided to go to a bar with some friends. My friend, we call her Anne. Anne was the mother of my childhood best friend. We grew very close. She was like a second mother to me. So I was thrilled when she started dating my older brother. We asked to double date with us to the bar. We had a few drinks, listened to some great music. But then I turned around and Jeff is nowhere to be found. I turned to Han and asked where he went. She said quickly she would go find him for me. I'm well past the point of burst at this point, so the next few minutes I waited for Han and Jeff to return. Felt like an hour. They were nowhere to be found. Sorry. I went outside. I checked through the smoking area. There was an alley between the bar and a building beside it, and there was a tap blocking the path. So I checked and I saw feet, 2 feet under the tap, and I pulled it. I saw Jeff was leaning against the wall, and Anne was pressed on him. When I opened the tap, she quickly flew and went back into the bar to my brother, like nothing happened. Jeff stood there with his face as red as a baboon's. Being as drunk, and I was truly in her. I don't know if I was overreacting. I was just there. Maybe they were just hugging. But when Jeff avoided me like the black plague for the rest of the night, my suspicion just kept growing and growing. I felt sick and I wanted to go home. The ride home was dead silent. I closed my eyes, pretending to be asleep to avoid the obvious guilt on his face. I didn't want to believe the man I thought I loved, the man I shared my firstborn child with, would ever hurt me like this. We got home and I went straight to sleep. The next morning, I drove him to work, and on the way there, I said, I had this crazy dream last night that you and Anne kissed. He looked at me and said, we did kiss. I was stunned silent. And after 20 seconds of silence, he hits me with, I'm just messing with you, lighting up. I forced a laugh and said, don't joke with me like that. I went home thinking all was well until I picked him for his lunch break. He got into the car with this down look on his face, and me being the loving and nurturing person that I am, I asked him what was wrong, hoping I could help lift his spirit. He then proceeded to say, remember this morning when I said I was kidding about kissing Han? Well, I wasn't kidding. We made out last night. I'm seeing red at this point. How could they do this to me? And I shit you not, right after he told me that this bitch, sorry, this lady passed our car and then she calls me. Here's the conversation. Me, hello, Han, hey, what are you guys doing tonight? I'm making fried chicken for dinner. You guys should come over. Me, did you kiss Jeff last night? And what? Who told you that? Me, Jeff. And do you know how drunk I'd have been to do something like that? Me, clearly you were not drunk since you had 3 beer and a water. Don't ever contact me again, and I'll be letting my brother know all about this. My brother dumped her. I stupidly stayed with Jeff for another 4 months before splitting up. And the extra spicy end, I married Anne's son, who Jeff absolutely could not stand, and we shared two gorgeous children together. So, Anne is an elderly woman. The age was not stated here. But to what I read now, to what I understand by what I read, is that Anne is an elderly woman because she's like a mother to the poster. Poster said a child, Anne's child, was our best friend while growing up. So Anne, that's the mother of our best friend, is dating our brother, our older brother, yes. But then I know Anne is still going to be older than our older brother. Yeah. So Anne made out with I mean, remember the poster is like a daughter to Anne, and the poster has a boyfriend, Jeff, which they share a child together. Anne, the mother of our best friend, made out with our own boyfriend. It might be confusing to you, but then it's kind of intriguing to me because this is like a family, not by blood, but I mean community kind of shit going on. She made out with Jeff and she told her other brother, she dumped Anne, and she herself dumped Jeff, she now went ahead to marry Anne's son. So that means Anne is now a mother in law and they have two kids together. How are they going to do when it's time for family gatherings or all of that? This is one hell of a crazy story. I don't know, these Oyibo people, they have a lot of things going on. Can never be Nigeria.